Welcome to episode 3 of the Singles Edition. I last left off at the end of Simple Creed, so I'm going to go right into Overcome. Overcome, I don't have that many releases remaining here, but what I do have are the US acetate single of Overcome, 2 European editions of the cardboard sleeve release, which are different in a number of ways. The discs themselves have a different way of showing the text. One of them has all capital letters, the other has capitals and lowercase. Also, the cover itself was pressed on some sort of different type of paper. You can pretty much not see a reflection in this one, whereas in here you can see my camera and part of my face. So it's the same release in terms of where it was released and its catalog number, but different in a number of different ways as well. So it's kind of fun to have both. This guy here is another one of the more rare singles that I possess. It's the Belgian promo acetate for Overcome, and its catalog number puts it in the same, see that, MER 00034? Puts it in the same boat as this guy here, the Dance With You single, which I discussed on the previous video and is pretty uncommon itself. Both promos from Belgium, both released, I think, 10 copies apiece. So it's kind of uncommon to find them. And then I've got South Africa and European or Australian release. I didn't check that. Forever May Not Be Long Enough. I used to have a bunch of acetates and some video singles of this song, but I only have this one remaining. Still, it's more or less in mint condition and kind of fun to have because it was the only commercial release for that song. Let's move on to Birds of Prey. Are you sniffing dish detergent? I can't train you, can I? Alright, we got the Special Tour Edition of Heaven, which is kind of fun. When it was first released, it was of interest to collectors because, and not just collectors, but to even casual live fans, because of the Operation Spirit version on here, which, to my knowledge, and as far as I know, to everyone else's knowledge, was not released anywhere else. It was just a very, very fun version of Operation Spirit. Aside from that, there were a number of promo and independent, not independent, but domestic and commercial releases of of Heaven. I've got the 2 copies, actually, of the Canadian edition, which is uncommon if you weren't in Canada because we don't really export our singles. So it was hard to find them if you were in Europe or even the United States. You more or less had to travel here or find someone selling it. This guy here, kind of a long story. I might even spend about 3 minutes on this guy, I don't know. This is the Heaven picture disc vinyl single. It's unique in so many ways it's almost obscene. First of all, it is the first 7-inch that we received from Live in about 4 years, and the last one that we received from Live until they broke up. It's the only picture disc vinyl that they released, and it has a very interesting quality about it. Many of you may know this, but although it states that this side is Forever May Not Be Long Enough Egyptian Dreams remix and the other side is Heaven, that's only true in some cases. There were a number of these vinyls that were pressed with the wrong songs. Not just the wrong songs by Live, but a certain number of these vinyls, including I believe this one, although I'll have to, actually play it to know. Some number of them contained P. Diddy. Tracks by P. Diddy. How did that happen? Well, we're not really all that sure, because they weren't even on the same fucking label. They shouldn't have been pressed in the same area. So, unless this is a majorly expensive bootleg, which we're pretty sure it isn't, something went terribly wrong. P. Diddy released a single called Let's Get Ill, right around the same time that that Heaven vinyl was released. Now, I don't much care for P. Diddy, but when this became known that this vinyl was mispressed, I went out and got the Let's Get Ill single by P. Diddy. That is in fact exactly what's on that vinyl. Says Live, says Heaven, says Forever May Not Be Long Enough, plays P. Diddy. So, that guy fetches a pretty nice penny. If you can manage to find one that isn't mispressed, a little bit of a bigger penny. We got 4 Runaway singles here. 3 of them, this one, and this one, were the standard commercial releases that were put out at the time. This one here is a promo from Europe as well. So it's got the Tuppen remix on it, which is a little hard to find officially anywhere else. Then we've got one sweet release. Sweet release. This guy's from Australia. There was also one more Australian release, which was a promo, which I've already sold. And then we've got Runaway with Shelby Lynn. That's a US promo CD. So last, we've got a couple releases from Awake and from songs from Black Mountain. For Awake, there's a US promo CD with a promo sticker included. Israeli promo disc, which is essentially the commercial European release, but with this Israeli sticker on top. There were a couple of these in Live's history. Israel never really released a lot of Live stuff, but late in their career they gained a bit of popularity there. And this is another European promo disc stickered with a Swedish promo sticker. And for songs from Black Mountain, I only actually have these remaining, these 5 CDs. I used to have a bunch of acetates for Mystery and even the Wings acetate, but those have sold because they go really fast. Those were pressed in extremely low numbers. In fact, the Wings acetate that I have, or had I should say, was one of 2 that I'm aware of existing. So it sold for a pretty penny, but it's long gone. The River, not a lot of releases came for it. There were a bunch of acetates and jewel case promos. This one here, not a promo. No, it's just one of the normal releases. They all look the same. This is why I'm just sort of picking them up and showing you the differences here. That one there, as you can see, for promotional use only, for promotion only, not for sale. This is one of the European promos, I believe. This one here is an acetate, which I've got enough time that I might as well take it out of its case. And then this guy here, one of the harder to find commercial releases for it, the Australian edition. Australia's kind of weird for that. Although Live was very popular for a very long time in Australia, the singles that got released there are some of the least common singles out there. Selling the Drama, Mirror Song is a real good example. Probably the strangest and hardest to find single in Live's whole repertoire was the Mirror Song commercial single, released in Australia. So yeah, the Australian editions of anything can be pretty much put on the top shelf away from any danger because they're kind of uncommon, even though they're common, which is a very strange thing. So the acetate that I'm talking about here for the River just comes in a sort of paper flip case like so. It's got this on the back, this little sticker on the front to give you an idea of when it's going to be released. And like any acetate, it looks pretty generic. It's got a company logo on it, Columbia Records, which is interesting, Live, The River, and it's just a CDR. That's more or less it. Now, when it comes to acetates, a lot of people have their reservations, including myself. But maybe I'll make a video on some of the different things that you can look for when you're buying an acetate or when you're looking at an acetate to try to determine whether or not it's real or whether or not you're buying a piece of junk. That'll be another video. Hope you like this one.